Well, you may remember a while ago me talking of a little waif and stray that came, apparently. Well, nothing of the sort. It turned out that she was a fraud. Yes, indeed, the little tabby cat had been abandoned by her original owners, but has since been taken in by a couple about her own age, and they cater for her every whim. I thought she looked too healthy and felt too silky and so on to be a stray. Well, with the missus still wanting a puddy tat, we have a puddy tat. This is Gabby, so called because he's got the gift of the gab. He's probably mostly Siamese, I should think. Certainly got the long legs, long tail, and the gift of the gab, hence the name. And he's settling in quite nicely, as you could see. Much purring is usually done, and happy cat noises and so on and so forth. He came from our local RSPCA rescue centre, which is called Bluebell Ridge, down here in Hastings. And when they found him, he was in a terrible state. You may be able to see his fur's a bit thin there. And the reason for that was that he was so full of fleas, the poor thing had a bad case of eczema. So he's still on pills for that. But his fur does feel nice and silky, and it's coming back. It's just going to take a little bit of time, that's all. He also appears to have been kicked, along with a little tabby kitten that was up there. You know, how anybody could do this to creatures is quite beyond me, but you know, if you must go and kick something, kick a politician, they deserve it, for the most part. Well, no, actually, no, scrub that, all of them do, don't they, really? If you don't want the creature, for heaven's sake, you should give it to a rescue home or whatever. But this one is quite happy. I think he wants us to build a pyramid in the garden. Nothing too showy, you know, it needn't be more than 500 feet high or so. Wouldn't want to annoy the neighbours too much. And as you can see, thoroughly enjoying himself. He's found several nice, soft or warm or both places to sit at. Meow. Yes, I know you were worshipped in ancient Egypt, and yes, he won't let us forget it. Meow, 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 meow. But his fur is coming back again. They had to shave it off, unfortunately, in order to treat the very bad eczema. But I can tell you there's not a trace of that now, and I think it's just a matter of time and waiting for him to become fully at home here. He isn't quite yet. He can be still very skittish and jumpy, but at the moment, well, you can hear the happy noises, so I think you can say that he's found his forever home, as they say at the cattery. Yeah, this one definitely isn't a fraud. I used to have two cats, big black and white one called Toby, and a Siamese cat I found dumped on the railway line when I worked on there in a plastic bag. and it was sealed up too. Nice, isn't it? Some people, eh? And then, of course, there was Charlie the fox, who I discovered once while driving home from Eastbourne via the back road. Saw these little LEDs glowing at me from a hedgerow beside the road, and sure enough, there was a tiny fox cub. The only trouble was that by the time we'd fixed his left front leg, he thought food came in a tin with Sainsbury's on it. Our supermarket, if you don't know, if you're watching, there's another country. One of them's called Sainsbury's. So that was that, and indeed he was such a wuss that once when the pheasant flew out from undergrowth while walking him on his lead at the wood, he hid behind me. Uh, so you could say I've always been, I think probably these creatures, they say, go and see that nutty idiot at the end of the road, the one who lives in the house that's falling to pieces and it's full of old stereos and he drives an old car. He's got a missus now as well. Yeah, she's just as mad as him. Yeah, they'll feed you. Yeah, you'll see. Anyway, on that mad note, I'll leave you.